to roll my sleeves up, rolling my sleeves up today. Melania Trump is going to bat for her husband in a new interview, saying all the groping allegations are false, and gives her take on the leaked Access Hollywood video. Take a look.
The language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable. And I was surprised because that is not the man that I know. And I wonder if they even knew that the mic was on, because they were kind of a boy talk, and he was lead on, like egg on, from the host to say dirty and bad stuff.
So, you know, I have to say, what surprises me most about this is that Trump's campaign let her speak to the same media that is also rigging the election. But we'll get to that in a moment. You know, because Anderson Cooper had this interview, so it's like, but weren't you pissed at? Okay, never mind. So how did you feel about her interview? Was this a surprise? I mean, it is her husband.
I mean, we talk all the time about Hillary Clinton defending Bill Clinton, and it's no surprise to me that she would be defending her husband. If she wants to accept his apology for her marriage, that's up to them. I always say leave the marriages out of it. But people's character is revealed when they think people aren't watching. So I would just remind everyone that if he didn't know that he was Mike, that's still who he is. You can egg me on all you want. There's things I'm not going to do and I'm not going to say. So it does speak to his character. And I think the investigations need to play out, and you need to let people. If people are going to make accusations, let them make them, and let's figure out what's going on here. But I don't really blame her. It is her husband, and that's what family does a lot of the time.
If she doesn't believe his accusers, then I guess she doesn't believe Clinton's accusers either, right?
No, listen. I thought she was poised and well-spoken, and she did stand by her man, just as many women do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate
Hillary
that about
did.
her.
Hillary
But
Clinton
let's also remember, without defending Donald, please don't take it that way, but these were from 11 years ago. So she also said, this was a long time ago. This is not the man that I know now. This is not how he treats me or speaks to me, and I'm paraphrasing. You know, I appreciated what she had to say, and I liked what she did say, except for the part about the fact that Billy was egging her on. I did not feel that way, because I feel like when you accept something or take responsibility, you can't in the same breath throw it to someone else or put blame on someone
Especially
else.
when you've been in the public eye and on television. As I mean, 11 years ago, The Apprentice was on television, was it not? So, you know, you kind of know if after a little while when you're talking.
Years ago that he called Rosie O'Donnell a fat pig, that he made the statement about Megyn Kelly's menstrual cycle, and then attacked Miss Universe for her weight. That wasn't 11 years ago. That was now. A lot of it, not all of it. A lot of it was.
But
so, it's not 11 years ago.
The two things that bothered me most about that interview were when she said, you know, they may not have known the mics were on. That really bothered me, because I thought that doesn't...
Why?
Because it doesn't matter if a mic is on or not on. It's the behavior.
But I'm just going to play devil's advocate for a second, because all of us here are people that always have mics on.
Yeah, but
and do
we
you know
know
how many times
we're
going like, oh, my mic's on, I got to cover it, and I can't say
because we know the mic is there. That's the point.
We don't want Brian to hear what we're saying.
No,
that's
but
why.
that aside, like, people would be shocked at some of the things I say, but they've never been aggressive behaviors. The difference for that tape that bothered me wasn't that he said gross words. That I agree with. I've said words myself. It was the aggressive nature of not waiting to ask or not doing. That's what distinguished it for me. It wasn't lewd behavior. It was aggressive behavior.
And also, you know, and to throw Billy under the... I agree with you. To throw Billy under the bus.
The Billy Bush part.
And I think it's a shame that he took the brunt of it. He's
gone now from
took the
NBC.
fall more than Donald.
I think they both should be accountable, because just because, again, a mic caught it this time, I think behavior needs to be punished. I just think he is taking the fall. To even put any credit on him, and that my husband could so easily go to.
What really freaked me out, what I wanted her to say last night is, you know, I have a son, and I would never allow my son to speak like this, and because it's, you know, this is not just his son. But this is a man who wants to be president of the United States of America. And I don't think the president of the United States of America should be caught on mic talking like that.
Yeah. That's the thing.
He's not a politician, so he's given all of these interviews his whole entire life, like on Howard Stern. I mean,
but
just
still,
a different
that's the man.
That's indicative of who he is.
Yes.
That's the thing.
And he's just running for president because of all of this.
Like, you could look at somebody out and say, well, you know what?
America doesn't agree with you.
I know.
That's the very reason why he is running.
I know.
You can say, though, that there are people out there that have said things and they weren't typical politicians, they weren't conventional politicians, but they still revealed who they were. And in some cases, that's going to be a disqualifier for me. You may have had a past, you may have had a life, you may have made mistakes, but the bottom line is this guy is still saying things like this. So to Joy's point, if he had changed, a changed man would not be tweeting the way he's tweeting.
But people have brought this up for many years, and the fact that it doesn't stick and it does, and you know, we saw people yesterday, and what I wanted to say was, so if some man walked up to your daughter and did this or acted this way, that would be okay with you because he's being a leader? I didn't understand that. I mean, I just was sort of thrown. But, you know, this is going to, we got, what, 20 more days? We'll be talking about this some more. The other thing was that he keeps saying that the election is rigged against him. Now, last night he claimed that there's a nationwide voter fraud. Dead people. Illegal immigrants casting ballots. People voting 5 and 10 times. He wants supporters to watch out for this election, for that, on election day. But exactly what are they looking for? What are they looking for? I mean, that the people who actually do this, the people who do these elections, who volunteer to do them for us, who open and close the polling places, who are actually there because they want to be part of this, are we saying that they're all rigged? Everybody's rigged?
I think he's drawing attention to the fact that there are cases of voter fraud that have existed. In Colorado, you have dead people, multiple incidences of dead people voting.
Which is really fun to do.
In just 8 Virginia counties.
Last year? Or this year? When?
2010, 11, 12, and 13.
There are instances. The issue is you have to have faith in the electoral process as a whole. So that's not to say that dead people haven't voted, that non-citizens haven't voted. This has happened. Virginia counties, 1,046 non-citizens successfully registered to vote. You can look it up and see stats that this has happened.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
I have this statistic. In a 2014 study published by the Washington Post said that more than 1 billion ballots were cast between 2000 and 2014, and 31 instances of impersonation fraud were found. 31 out of 1 billion ballots.
This is what I'm saying to you. It does exist, but he's trying to present it as a widespread problem because he has a giant ego, and what he wants to do is, if he loses this election, and I think he will, he wants to launch a career. And he wants those people who love him, much like they did to Sarah Palin, to elevate him, and he needs an excuse why he lost.
Let's not forget that other people have claimed the same thing. So Gore actually sued when he thought he lost, and they went and they had to recount the vote.
Remember that they found ballot boxes. They found ballot boxes that were not where they were supposed to be.
And then went. Let's not forget that also Bernie Sanders with the DNC. Bernie Sanders claimed that the DNC was rigging the vote for Hillary. So everyone's always claiming from
black people said, listen, we need to keep an eye on this 4 years ago, everybody said, why? There's no voter fraud. Nobody's moving things around. There's no fraud here. And now suddenly, because he may lose, he's got everybody up in arms. Listen, if you think there's voter fraud, then you need to talk to the people in your precinct. You need to make sure that when you go to vote, you're not fraudulent. And if you see folks who come in like this, they come in and then they go through and then they go like that and they come back out and then they come and then they go like this and then they come back out and then they go like that again. I mean,
can I say one thing? One more thing. It's interesting to me that a man who dodged the draft 6 times, who did not pay his taxes for a minimum of 18 years, he got free media attention for almost a year.
Almost a year and a half.
Is saying that the system is rigged against him. It sounds to me like the system is rigged for him.
Hold on. If you want to come back to this, we can, but we got to go now. So we'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Coming up, Amy Schumer outraged. What made hundreds of people storm out of her live show? yourself, what's important in a marriage?
If you're going to get married, what is our marriage going to be about?
Max and I have been to therapy because it helps you communicate better.
Enjoy.
If I went to therapy before I got married, I would have never gotten married.
Don't miss The View tomorrow on ABC. Later, People Magazine's One to Watch Chrissy Metz on how her body image battle is a hot topic on the hit series This Is Us. And stay tuned, because one lucky View fan's getting a huge windfall of cash, up to $10,000.
Welcome back. So, Joy?
Yes.
You wanted to continue?
No, they did. They
Well,
want to
one thing
talk
was gonna
about
say is
rigging.
I do agree with you, Candace, that I think both sides always talk about rigging. The part that is bothersome to me is that right now Trump is making it such a talking point that in Newton, Iowa, my hometown, someone spoke up at a rally in front of Pence and said, if Hillary wins, there's going to be a revolution. And he was so wise, and actually, I thought it was a responsible move. He said, no, don't talk like that. Like, we can't have people like turning the government over because it's rigged. And I just found now Pence is falling into line, though, and they've changed how he's talking too. I just think making it a talking point of the election says there's no faith in any. You have to have a modicum of trust in our system to allow it to
But I
survive.
think also in him and other people saying it's rigged, it's not just about voter fraud, it's about media bias, and that it's rigged that way. So even, for example, last Thursday, the major networks, Evening News covered Trump scandals for 23 minutes combined, but Clinton's WikiLeaks scandal only got 1 minute and 7 seconds.
So can I point something out?
Yeah.
From the time Donald Trump announced his presidency, on every network, ABC did an hour-long special, half hour with him, half hour with the family. Every network, it was Donald Trump all day, all night, to the point where one of the network heads said, listen, not good for the country, but it's great for us. They put him on every night, to the point where I was trying to figure out, because when I was a kid, if you had one candidate on, you had to have everybody else on. Apparently, that's no longer true.
That's right.
It's no longer true. So for him to say that the media that helped get his message out there, helped get him on television all day, all night, is now rigged against him, is a pile of boo-boo, and all you got to do is go back and look at it and see how much media attention he was given. Him, not everybody else.
Well, so he's the one who doesn't bring up the policies. He's the one who throws the ball back. The minute they throw something at him, he has to go back at them double. And he fuels the media that way. I think it's very much his fault.
The media won him the primary. You couldn't turn the television on without seeing his face. So that my guys like Rand Paul, who I wanted front and center, who can talk about policy and have a hearty intellectual debate, lost. You lost because you couldn't turn on the TV. But now he wants to hold the media accountable for his actions. The media is reporting on you. These are your words. This is your character. This is your history and your resume. Own it. Either be able to defend it or don't.
Go ahead, Jan.
Done.
Tell us.
The whole Tavis movement.
That's right. Now,
What about the fact that Melania said that what he said in the Access Hollywood tape was boy talk? Was that because of her language difficulties?
No. It's what everyone has called it. It's what everybody has called it. Boy, locker room
But
boy
he was
talk.
59 years old.
Yeah, well,
He's a man baby.
you know. But listen, my favorite is in 2012 during the election, Trump tweeted, very dangerous pattern developing across the country by Obama supporters. Detroit poll watcher was threatened with a gun. More reports of voting machines switching Romney votes to Obama. Pay close attention to the machines. Don't let your vote be stolen. Then afterwards, he said, we can't let this happen. We should march on Washington to stop this travesty. Our nation is totally divided. Let's fight like hell to stop this great and disgusting injustice. The world is laughing at us. The election is a total sham and a travesty, and this is not a democracy. And all I have to say is this. If Romney didn't do it, I assume you're talking about also with Obama and Hillary. So if Hillary was that good, why didn't she win the election if she rigged it? If she was actually rigging elections, why didn't she become the president? Could it be that actually people voted how they felt. I believe in our system. It ain't the best system, but it's the only system we got, and it's worked for us kind of well.
I'm talking about how older people and some younger people, even who don't have driver's license, don't have picture IDs, couldn't vote when they were trying to push that through. I don't think that the Republican Party was upset about that. I think they like that type of voter fraud, but then they come up with this rigged system.
There's a way to acknowledge.
Because that particular idea of picture ID would eliminate mostly Democrats.
No, I mean, I support voter ID
that's
laws.
the truth.
There's a way to acknowledge that voter fraud, instances of voter fraud have existed, and that there is legitimacy to the argument of voter ID laws, and at the same time say, this is a man who's capitalizing on it. This is a man who's blowing it up, making it a widespread problem because he's out of self-interest.
So if you don't have, but if you don't have, okay, so if your ID is not a driver's license, because, you know, I know lots of older people who don't drive and who shouldn't be driving. You don't want them to have a driver's license.
But they can vote.
But they should be able to vote based on whatever ID they have. Now, if you've been in the voting system as a, you know, you're now a 80-year-old black woman, you know, pretty much if you see the 80-year-old black woman coming at you, it's probably her. Because, you know, black people vote because we earn the right to vote. For us, it's not about, it's about, you know, people said we had to take tests. We had to take tests and figure out, you know, philosophical discussions in order to get the right to vote. And when we finally were able to get rid of all that BS, people are very proud to vote. I get very offended when people say, you know, watch out in those neighborhoods, because that's what he says.
Well,
watch out.
They call dog whistles.
But it's just kind of freaky, and you know, we work really hard to get this vote, to become citizens like everybody else.
As did all women.
Women too.
Well, yeah, but you know, women were not thought of as a desk or chattel. We were chattel.
You know,
I just want to say we weren't considered to be human. So us getting the right to vote after dogs attacked us, after people were killed, hung, blown up, you know, this is not, you know, this is not a light. You know, voting is real.
Right.
This is not a game. I know we gotta go, but people's, you know.
Now she's all riled up.
No, but you know what? I just think back to all the stuff that my grandmother talked about.
It's true.
And it just enrages me.
It's true.
You know, that people are being talked about this way, and like they didn't earn this right to vote. Oh, it just freaks me out. We'll be right back. I'm sorry.
People, did you see those killer products on View Your Deal yesterday? Well, this is your last chance to get them for half off. So get to viewyourdeal.com. Come on.
Wow. Okay.
That was my own part.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
They were some good.
Great.
Yeah. All right.
I was excited about it. You know, yes, the election is made it into Amy Schumer's stand-up, as it has in so many comics. The other night, 200 people walked out of a Florida performance after she shared trashing Trump and called one of his supporters on stage. People tweeted that they came for a comedy show, not an anti-Trump rally. Are they right, or should they have known who they were going to see?
Well, she has a big audience, so I don't know that. No, when people come to see me, they know what they're going to get.
Yeah, but
to say, I have many jokes about Bill Clinton's sex life, and I will have them about Trump. So, you know, I think that a comedian has a forum like we do, and these are very serious times. She feels very strongly about Trump not being president, and she used her forum, and too bad. And you know, I mean, if they don't like it, they don't have to go back again. And a lot of them walked out. You have the option to do that, of course. But she was speaking from her heart and her mind, and I applaud her for that.
I don't think it was a place for it, honestly, because I think that if you stay in the jokes, like, you make a lot of jokes, but that's still your genre. It's comedy.
Yeah.
But she went out of comedy and started to be almost like kind of preachy about like
She brought someone on stage and was asking them questions like, why do you like
But
Donald
even if
Trump?
she
Why
didn't
would
pull
you
someone
vote?
out, I think when you change from using comedy, which people came for, make as many bad jokes as you want. But once you change over and it just becomes like she was saying, these are important times. If I was there, I do
You
come to
should
get
come
some.
see my shows then, ever.
Also, do you think so?
Because,
So, but
you know, it's her show. It's her show.
Yeah.
She gets to make what she does, and you as a consumer, you know, you get what you get, and if you don't like what you got, it's good. You got up and you left, and that's all right. But
Yeah, that's
it's
what I
her
mean. Is I
gig.
think it's fine if you came for a comedy show and you didn't get that, because I know her.
But that logic almost feels like if someone's a serious person giving a speech, then they're not allowed to make a joke.
They don't do it well very often, but
They may not, but the opposite is true too. In other
I don't
words,
mean it. I
she's a free spirit. She's up there. So a lot of it is
I
made
don't
up on
mean if
stage.
you drop in your routine and you say something like, this matters to me, because like, for instance, I know gun rights are big for her. You know, there are a lot of things I know she
Yes.
believes in, but she like dropped out of it completely and became almost like, I would want to be laughing. That's why I went to go. You know, it can get serious and lose me a little bit here and there, but I just want it to keep going. It's a show. You
I
know?
had that reaction too. I watched it. I love Amy Schumer. I love her comedy. I had the reaction Sarah had where it felt like she turned into a political commentator temporarily instead of a comedian. But I'm a big defender of people's right to offend me. And, you know, you're your own person. You do your own show. People walked out. Maybe she won't do that again. Maybe she will.
Maybe she
But
will.
I have to defend her right to conduct her show as
Well,
she
yeah.
wants.
And-
And
yeah.
I do see why people walked out, though, because it did feel very political in a not funny Joy Behar-ish type of way.
And by the way, I meant pro-gun control, not gun
Yeah.
rights. I said that wrong.
Well, you know, just
We
keep
got
in
it.
mind that comedy is subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny to one may not be funny to the other. And again, you take your chances. You know, you go see Joy, you go see me, you go see Amy. You don't know necessarily what you're going to get. You hope you're going to get what you hope for, but you might not. You might get some totally
might
different.
not.
I walked out of a few shows, so I'm like, it's a great
Stand-up
right
shows?
there.
Comedy shows? Or
I've walked out of some Broadway shows,
Broadway
and I
shows,
think
yeah.
I did one comedy show.
For political reasons, or it just wasn't?
For the Broadway show?
Yeah.
They were just offensive to me,
Book
and
of
I just
Mormon?
went, I'm not.
No.
Was
yeah,
it the
I
Book of
did.
Mormon?
I walked out of the Book of Mormon.
thank God.
You know, but even Mormons go to see
And
that.
I'm not Mormon, but it just it hurt my heart, and I went, I'm not going to pay money. But my friends sat there; they weren't offended that I walked out.
Yeah.
They called me just
That
for
was
drinks
all the
later.
time.
Yeah.
It's all subjective. I see you. I know. But I wanted her to finish her comment so nobody thought we were like chopping anybody off. We'll be right back. So, Candace, what's going on?
Well, tonight, my brother Kirk Cameron is emceeing a live 2-hour interactive event that will be in movie theaters across the country, and you can be a part of it. It's called Revive Us. It features guest speakers like Pastor Francis Chan and James McDonald, Dr. Ben Carson, plus music from Vertical Church Band. So go online, check out Revive Us in theaters tonight.
Very nice. So, there are millions of fans who had posters of Luke Perry when he was a teen heartthrob.
Yeah.
And apparently folks were shocked that he's grown up. And he's now on the cover of the new AARP magazine. Now, I should tell you that AARP is for people 50 and over, and he probably just turned 50. So the question is, does this make you feel old?
When 90210 goes 50, totes.
Did you see the original, or are you watching the secondary one?
Oh, no one watches the secondary one.
Okay.
It's about Luke and Brandon.
I have I watched this was my teenage crush. I loved Dylan McKay. I was convinced he was going to ride up on his motorcycle. I had a whole fantasy. He didn't come. Thanks, Luke. I was waiting. But he was the guy that I grew up looking. I was in middle school, I remember. So when I saw this, though, I didn't feel bad about it. I looked at him, I said, he still looks great. I still found myself blushing. It kind of made me feel young in a weird way. I felt like a kid who like still had that crush that I grew up watching. So I thought it was
You know, in this country, they make you feel bad for being old.
Yeah.
You know, in other countries like Japan, they reward you for your wisdom as you get older. Here, they put you on a Facebook death poll. Have you ever seen that? There is a death pool, rather. It's a Facebook death pool where they take bets on who's going to die. I mean,
Or if
there
you're
are
even
countries
still
where
alive.
they come to visit you to hear what you have to say of wisdom over the years. Here, you have to get plastic surgery. You have to keep up. It's
Well,
true.
this is what I'm going to tell you. You know, somebody was talking about, when we were talking about AARP, talking about
Oh, yeah.
turning 50 or being 50. And I look at it like this. If you're above the ground, you're doing pretty well.
You're lucky.
But more than that, a lot of people never got to be 50.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You know, 9/11, a lot of folks lost their lives. They'll never be 50. So we should always respect whatever age we get to, because
Yeah.
there are lots of people who didn't make it that far. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, but also
You know?
people seem younger nowadays. Well, it seems.
I mean, 50 was...
Stamos is 52.
Yeah.
Like, what
Another one that I grew up being like, oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Just a minute.
I got
Sorry.
pantyhose almost older than John Stamos.
We were good right up until that. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Metz from the new show This Is Us, here with the ladies to talk about body image issues, weight struggles, and we all been there. So join us next. We're putting it all on the table.
This week, so how hot will our hot topics be? Will they only get hotter when Martha Raddatz comes to The View? She faced them both and never backed down. Now she's here in our house.
Yeah.
Plus, Tyler Perry, Senator Al Franken, and Daphne Oz.
Yeah.
It's all this week on The View on ABC.
Welcome back. Millions of viewers are already hooked on this fall's breakout hit, This Is Us, about a family whose lives intersect in surprising, emotional, and amazing ways. Chrissy plays Kate, who's struggling with her weight, eating habits, and body image, and she really steals the show. Let me tell you, she's the person everybody's talking about. Please welcome Chrissy Metz. So congratulations, the show is off the hook, and now People Magazine has named you one to watch.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So what for you? This is new and fantastic. How's it going?
It's amazing. I mean, it's bananas.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm pumping gas and I see the billboard pass on a bus, I'm like, right, that's me. And this is a long time coming, and it's still very, very surreal.
Good.
Years. She's not an overnight success. It took 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But make sure you enjoy everything. Don't let people talk you out of enjoying this, because this only happens
Right.
once.
Right. Yeah.
This is it only happens like this once.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it can be fleeting, and I'm well aware of that, so I'm like staying present.
Have a good time.
Thank
with it,
you.
girl.
And you know what, Chris, you've heard from a lot of people about, who are struggling with their weight.
Yeah.
This show has brought all of that to the forefront. In fact, in the first episode, I loved it. You got on a scale. And you did something that every woman does when they get weighed. You took off your earrings, because they,
Every ounce counts.
Exactly.
Yes. Hello.
So tell me about how that went.
Yeah, we had a conversation with the directors, John and Glenn, and they were like, "Do you feel comfortable being naked?" I'm like, "How naked is naked?" And they're like, "Well, in your underwear." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, fine, bra and underwear." And then I'm like, "But she would take her bra off. She would take off everything she possibly could, because every ounce counts." And I thought, this is just a really important scene, and I have to be very vulnerable, because that's what we are in that private moment. And for women who have reached out and related and like, "I've never seen that body shape on television," I'm like, that is why I did it. And it was scary, but I'm glad I did it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it was. There's 100 people watching me.
Yeah.
The boom guy in the shower, the camera guy in the bathtub.
I forgot to mention, in my asking you the question, I forgot to say naked. That was an important part of that. Yeah. Right.
Naked.
I mean, it is very often that you see a lead female character in Hollywood that doesn't fit the size 0 mold. And you've been doing this for over a decade.
Yeah.
We last saw you on American Horror Story.
Right.
So what has been the biggest challenge for you in the industry?
I think it's art catching up to life, right? Because there's so many women who are like, right? It's like, this is happening in the real world. Why is it not happening on TV and movies? And we're like, what's going on? We want to see ourselves on TV. We want to relate to those stories. So I think that's been the hardest thing and the hardest challenge for me, because it's slim pickings. We were talking, like, she's like, isn't it hard to drive around LA? I'm like, I rarely had auditions. So, you know, it's like, it's
That's
hard.
what Gabby Sidibe would talk about when we were talking to her when she first began too. But like you, she just said, look, this is what it is.
Right.
This is who I am. This is real life.
Right.
You know, so yeah, there's going to be more and more parts, baby.
And people said to Gabby, oh, well, some people said, you know, she's never going to work again after this. And then she hasn't stopped working.
She hasn't stopped working.
See?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's all about your talent.
Yeah, right. And it'll be eventually about just that. Yeah, hopefully.
Chrissy, you said that one of the reasons that you were drawn to the role of Kate is that she does have a love interest and she actually does get to have sex. Why was that so important to you?
Because I think some people feel like plus-size people don't have sex or they aren't like attracted or physically attractive. And so I was like, wow, she's attractive, she's put together. She has it almost all together, struggling with weight issues and some self-worth issues. But, oh, she has a really charming, adorable boyfriend. This is exciting. Because you're usually like, oh, you can't play the
best friend.
Right. Right. Or you're too pretty to play the big girl. What does that mean? Why does size equate beauty? And, you know, it's just silly. So it was really exciting, for sure.
We have a sneak peek of tonight's episode where Kate and Toby... I love it. What were you thinking in that moment when you had that... When you laughed, I just thought, I completely get it. What was going through your head?
Why haven't you told me about her? And you didn't tell me how beautiful she was. What does this all mean?
Yeah.
You know, what does this mean to Kate? So...
Stay tuned, people.
Stay tuned.
Chrissy, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Come back as often as you would like to. This is your spot. You can come hang with us anytime.
Yep.
You can catch This Is Us tonight. Check out your local listings, and we will be right back.
Do not move, because one Lucky View fan is about to cash in and win up to $10,000 right after this.
I want to ask the audience a question. Does anyone want the chance to win up to $10,000 right now?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Of course, everybody.
Yes. Great. Because we partnered with Savings Destination and Ultimate Shopping Companion, Retail Me Not, to make that happen. And we're going to roll quickly through your pictures, and I'm going to press this button right here to reveal our lucky viewer. Okay? Let's go. In it. So you're going to step right in here. You have 15 seconds to grab as many view dollars as you can grab. Don't start yet.
Stuff it everywhere.
Stuff it into your bag.
Everywhere. Yeah, put it wherever you get it, girl.
Are you okay?
You ready?
Are you ready?
Start, get down.
Yeah.
Ready. Get
Go
down.
low.
And
Go
make sure
low.
you got to put
When they go high, we go low.
Dolores, you got to put them in the bag, okay? In the bag.
Take her bag.
Not in you. In the bag.
No, that's
No,
not.
one
Okay, ready? And go. Okay, wait. Okay, come on out here. Step over the door. Step over the door right here. Now I'm going to take this bag from you. And while I'm counting this, wait, I'll count it. You talk with Jedediah. Okay.
All right. So Sarah is counting this money. What are you going to do with this money? Tell me.
I'm
Any
going to take a
plans?
trip to Paris.
To Paris? Who are you going to take the trip with?
He hasn't been. Yeah.
And what is his name?
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, do you see what she's doing? She's bringing home the cash. Bringing home the cash. Trip to Paris.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
What else? What else? Trip to Paris.
Oh, I don't know.
18,
I don't know what else.
She can't wait. She can't think because there's all the money here. All the money's here. It's happening. It's happening. Sarah's
Save some of the money for winter vacation.
29,
Okay.
We want to leave New York for the winter usually.
Okay.
Go someplace warm.
This is like what
Like
I
2 or
do
3
when I
nights.
play the lotto. I'm like, these are all the things I'm going to do. So Paris, winter
Yes, winter
vacation.
vacation.
You did great.